Speaker mute. It's all you, Tammy.
Well, thank you so much. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Kerrville. We're so excited to see all of you. We have so many great things happening, and everybody's just so cute and handsome and pretty. So it's just awesome to see you. I want to remind you to put your phone on mute, but also mute your computer right now while we're getting ready for our program out of respect for our speaker. And I'd like to invite Brenda Thompson to give us the invocation.
Okay. If everybody would please bow your head. Dear Heavenly Father, we praise you and thank you for the many blessings you bestow upon us every day. Please watch over us daily, keep us safe, and guide us in your path for our lives. Give strength and support to those in our community, state, and nation that are on the front lines dealing with the pandemic and strife. Please help us guide our nation back to peace. Watch over our children and their families as they return to school this year, and keep them, their teachers, and all the school staff healthy and safe. In all things we do every day, we thank you for your love and your support. In your precious name we pray. Amen.
Amen. So if you will join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yay! I wish I was technically better and can get you a video of a waving flag, but I haven't figured that out yet, but soon we will. Okay, now Clint Morse, would you like to introduce our speaker?
Thank you very much, President Tammy. Can you hear me?
Sure can.
Well, great. Well, listen, I know our speaker is going to be great. I've been watching cutaways of him as we warmed up for our meeting today, and he looks like a thoroughbred at the starting gate. And he's spoken to us many times before. He doesn't need much of an invite, but this is one of the most uplifting programs we have when we get a opportunity to hear about those outstanding men and women who are being inducted into the Tybee Hall of Fame. And so, Guy, I'm going to turn it over to you and look forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Clint. And it's a privilege to be here with you. And just like Christy said, it's so good to see a lot of faces that are so familiar. And it's such a good time to see your faces and smiles. You know, when we're out in the community, unfortunately, we have to wear these masks and we don't get to interact with each other. And so we get to see each other in smiles and faces. It just means a lot to all of us. And I know it means a lot here today. The Kerrville Rotary Club, of course, has always been a very special part of my life in the community. And I appreciate everything about you guys and everything that you do. President Tammy, you're in great shape and leadership this year. I know you leading the club this year, you're fantastic. And I know you're going to have a fantastic year with everything that's going forward, even during these challenging times. We're so glad that you're leading at this time. I also wanted to share, and Brother Bob Schmierbeck, talking here just when everybody was coming on. Bob, I wanted to share with everybody. I also wanted to give you all an update. And I wanted to thank each one of you. As you guys know, in March, I had thyroid cancer. I had 2 lymph nodes that were removed. They took 60 lymph nodes out. I had 2 that were the same cancer. I had papillary cancer, fortunately. I did lose a brother 5 years ago to thyroid cancer, and he had a very aggressive cancer. So I was very fortunate I did not have the same cancer. So I had the surgery, and I was out of the office for a few weeks, but I've gotten back, and I got on thyroid, the Synthroid medicine. Some of you may take that medicine or what now, thyroid issues. But I did not have to do any chemo or any radiation. So as Bob Schmierbeck said just a short while ago, I just give God all the praise and glory for that. So I'm glad he's our Savior and he's the great healer. So thank you, all of you. And all of you, I appreciate all of you keeping me in your prayers. And again, I think that's the great thing about being in a community here, when we know that when we face an obstacle or a challenge, that we can call each other and we can pray for each other. And that's one thing that I just really appreciate. So thank you so much for letting me share that moment with you. Today is Hall of Fame Day. Got my blue shirt on, my gold tie, Kerrville Tivy Fighting Antlers. And yes, we don't know what's going to happen with all sports this year. We don't know what's going to happen with football. We don't still know what's going to happen with volleyball and all those different things that are going on. Are they going to be curtailed? What's going to happen? But the one thing that we do know that we're hoping for the best, and that we can get back to some type of normalcy again soon, so that our kids can get out there and play, and we can go and holler at the stands and support our fighting antlers. And so today, it's a privilege today to come to the Rotary Club. And Tammy, again, I thank you again for allowing us to come and use this opportunity to announce our inductees for this year. And we do have some news that we want to share with the Rotary Club and our community today as we make those announcements on kind of what's going on right now during these challenging days. So today we're here to talk about the Kerrville Tivy Antler Athletic Hall of Fame. This is the class of 2020 we're talking about. And also, as we talk about that, our inductees that we'll be naming here in just a moment. Next slide, Tammy. Christy. And I said, do I have access to the slide to move? Oh, there we go. Okay.
No, I moved it.
Okay, very good. The one thing that we wanted to, and Curtis Finley is on here today with us. Of course, he's our school board president here. And Curtis also serves on our Hall of Fame selection committee. Right now, again, this year, because of the pandemic this year, our ceremony, again, as far as actually having any activities this year, are going to be curtailed to 2021. Now, if you've been following sports this year, you've seen this same type of strategy has been used by the NFL, the Major League Baseball, NBA. Again, we're not in that category, but again, still the ceremony and that special award for your Hall of Fames in your communities. And so we are recognizing them this year. They have been selected. The 2020 has been selected, but they will get to go through all of the ceremonies and all the hoopla next year with our class of 2021. So we'll have a big year next year. And again, we have the 3 inductees that we'll be talking about here in just a moment. But I can tell you right now, as a community and as a part of the selection committee, that we eagerly wait next year to celebrate that with 2 wonderful classes for next year. Next slide, please. The other thing, I just kind of always like to give reminders of what qualifies for a Tivy Hall of Fame nomination and a selection to this great family of athletics in our history here in our community. You may have a friend or know somebody, hey, they should be nominated to the Hall of Fame. And so how does that happen? So the inductees into the Hall of Fame will be made by individuals who've rendered outstanding service to the Kerrville ISD in the field of athletics, either as an athlete, a coach, or an avid supporter. Today, we will have 2 nominees that are athletes, and we have an avid supporter that we'll be talking about. An athlete must have earned 2 letters or their equivalents in one sport, or 1 letter or its equivalent in 2 or more sports. The athletic record of the individual must be so outstanding that there is no question of his or her qualifications for the Hall of Fame. An athlete will not be considered until at least 10 years after his or her class has graduated. Next slide. A coach shall not be eligible until they have retired or until 5 years after they have left the Kerrville ISD. An avid supporter shall be eligible at any time, but their support must have been outstanding and given over an extended period. And today, we have a person that meets all of that category in that area. No more than 3 individuals may be selected in a single year. A group or a class of people should be considered as one individual or a team, a group or a team. And again, election to the Hall of Fame requires approval by at least 2/3 of the members of the selection committee. Next slide. The selection committee shall consist of 7 members and have graduated from Tybee High School. All members must be a member of the Kerrville Tybee Athletic Booster Club. And again, it's just such an honor again to have a Tybee alumni that are the ones that make the selection here. And this really is it means a lot to our inductees that it comes from Tybee alumni. Selections again should be made in early August in each year so that the recipients have adequate time to plan for a ceremony. Well, our ceremony, unfortunately, this year is going to be delayed till next year. But again, at the same time, we'll still be having newspaper articles coming out. There'll be some large ads that will be coming out, just acknowledging them for their accomplishments and how proud of them we are in our community. Next slide, please. Again, the recipients inducted to the Hall of Fame will have their picture placed in our Hall of Fame gallery in Antler Gym. If you've never not been to the Antler Gym, you can see there's only 2 cases here right now. I can tell you that that has expanded 3 more. So when you go there, almost the whole wall now is filled with inductees. So today, again, as we have our 15th year, we've already brought in approximately 72 other recipients today. So today is 73, 74, and 75. There is a permanent plaque shall be included the names of the recipients and the year of their selection. And they also receive an individual plaque, and a crystal is presented to our individuals for their induction selection. Next slide.
Oops. Sorry.
That's fine, thank you.
There, okay.
There you go. This part's always a fun part. And I think this is a part that some of you are watching today. We're talking about inductees who have already come into the Kerrville Tybee Hall of Fame. This is a unique family of athletic accomplishments. Again, it could be an athlete, a coach, or an avid supporter. So let's go back and just refresh real quickly just a few of those folks that have come in to the Tybee Hall of Fame. Our first year, the 1936 state football finalist team. We were also blessed to have 4 of those gentlemen were still here with us at that time in 2006 to induct into our first year, our inaugural year. That several of those players played on the Texas A&M football team that was part of the 1939 national championship team. That was a very special moment night on our inaugural night of 2006. Other folks that came in that year was Coach Tom Daniel and William Pfeiffer. William, of course, is the brother of Clifton Pfeiffer. I know that we all love Clifton so much, but William came in. He was a 1974 graduate of Kerrville Tybee. Next slide. 2007, we saw Billy Ed Daniel come in, and we saw our first 1968-69 boys state championship basketball team that was coached underneath Jim Reed. We were very fortunate in 2007 that Jim Reed was still with us. Jim would pass away just shortly after this ceremony, but it was such a blessing to have him there and all of the team members for that 2007 year. Next slide. In 2008, we saw all conference UT John Telchik, also drafted by the Chicago Bears and played for the Philadelphia Eagles. Great punter. He was here and inducted in 2008. 1928, we saw our football team that won district that year and was ranked in the state that year. But the thing I remember about the 28 team, our running back on the team, his nickname was the Galloping Ghost of the Guadalupe. Love that. Love that name. Love that name. Kathy Goff McGehee was the first woman inducted into the Kerrville Tybee Athletic Hall of Fame in 2008. Next slide. 2009, we saw Don Roden and the 1959 and 1960 tennis team. Coach Lewis Burton, that was his team at that time. Then everybody remembers John Mahaffey. If you're a golfer, everybody, that's a name that we can recognize, but John was inducted in the class of 2009. 2010, we inducted that year Benny Schomburg. Many of you, if you didn't know Benny Schomburg, I would consider, in our committee and a lot of Tybee alumni, consider Benny Schomburg one of the top 5 athletes in Kerrville Tybee athletic history. Tremendous athlete. Spencer Brown is the name of the community here that was inducted. Mike Michon, they called him the Iron Man He was a guy that if he tackled you at Antler Stadium, you felt him. And he was a great player in Kerrville Tivy history. And then we also inducted the Doyle at School Athletic Program. And they were a part of a special induction that year and honoring them in 2010. Next slide. 2011, we saw our Mike Dial come in. And Mike came in, of course, and had a great career, a couple of years in the NFL. And Mike was inducted in 2011. The 1949 Tivy track team came in that year. And also, it was an honor at that time also to bring in Coach Charlie Ray Dobbs, who led our Tivy varsity track program for many years, great junior high coach, and coached many of us. I was one of those students that he had during the years. Thank goodness he was patient with me. I had to run a little bit extra sometimes, but I probably deserved it. Good Coach Dobbs. 2012, we saw Brenda Coons. Gary Benedict came in. He was a pole vaulter, went on to play pole vault at Baylor University, broke the record in his career there at Baylor. 1969-70, we saw the boys state championship basketball team come back in. They went back-to-back, just for everybody to remember. 69-70 back-to-back. 2013, we saw Matt Taylor, track runner at University of Arkansas after leaving Tivy. Melissa McGehee Damasco. That was Kathy's daughter. But Melissa was all-state volleyball player here at Tivy, played at Texas Tech University, the 1950-51 varsity football team. Next slide. 2014, Joe Baker, the all-time scorer in Tivy boys basketball, was brought in. 1980 and 81, we saw our girls golf state championship teams that went back-to-back. And then here lately, the late Julius Doc Papa Scott was our first avid supporter inducted into the Hall of Fame. Next slide. 2015, we saw Mike Parman come in. 2015, if you remember, we had a ceremony at the Inn of the Hills for our 10th year. Avery Johnson was our guest speaker that year for our induction ceremony. The 1987-88 Tivy football state semifinalist teams back-to-back were there with Coach Donnie Lawrence. 2003-04, we saw our girls basketball state first team semifinalist team inducted as a class that year. Outstanding class. We're going to talk about them here in just a moment. Class of 2016, tennis coach Jerry Deckard, track star Letitia Hardy, and baseball player Kevin Whalen played at Texas A&M, went on and was also drafted, pitched for the New York Yankees, and pitched later on for the Pittsburgh Pirates. 2017, we saw Raul Rocky Hernandez. Rocky was a track star here in Kerrville, and we saw Russ Angel, a tennis star here at Tivy, and Russ had an outstanding career as well in college. 1986-87, we saw the Tivy boys basketball state semifinalist team that had Scott Delaney on there and Thyman Demery. 2018, the 1965-66 boys state semifinalist mile relay team. Mark Smith, he's the all-time coach winning and percentage record here at Kerrville Tivy High School. And Kyle Yates was inducted in 2018. Last year in 2019, the late Leighton Goldman was brought in as an inducted. I mentioned Thyman just a little bit ago. Thyman Demery was inducted last year, great athlete in all sports. And then we had 3 avid supporters that came in last year in one category as a group. That was Gene Blanton, the late Leonard Lightning Hardiman, and yes, Fuzzy Swayze. We all love Fuzzy. Brings us to today. The class of 2020. That is hard to believe, 15 years, but here we are. Let's meet our first inductee for the class of 2020. I know this person, Jacqueline Overby Brummett. She graduated in 2005, part of the state semifinalist team of 2003 and 04. Let's know something about Jacqueline. Next slide. Jacqueline was a graduate of Kerrville Tivy in 2005. She is the all-time most points scored at Kerrville Tivy basketball with 1,931 points. She made 303 career three-pointers, And she had her most three-pointers in one season in her senior year with 89. Her freshman year, she would break the record of 70 that year by Tamara Poppy, and breaking that in her freshman year, and would break her three-point record 3 consecutive times later. Her career free throw average was 81%. She was 412 for 510 free throws. She was a 4-year letterman. Her freshman year, she was first team all-district. Sophomore year, she was first team all-district and first team all-region. Next slide. Her junior year, she was the first team all-district, first team all-region. She was a member of the San Antonio First Team Express Super Team, and she was Region 4's most valuable player. In senior year, she was first team all-district, first team all-region. She was a member of the San Antonio Express First Team Super Team. She was Region 4 MVP, first team all-state, and played in the Texas TACB All-Star Game. She received a 4-year scholarship playing at Houston Baptist University, played 2 years there. She had 145 career three-pointers at Houston Baptist University in Huskyland. She is currently employed today at the Kerrville State Hospital here today as a psychiatric nurse health practitioner. I think I got all that right. And I think she probably would correct me. But again, it's an honor to have Jacqueline inducted. And she'll tell you right off the bat, that team, that 03-04 team, was a fantastic team. And I think you're going to be seeing a lot more players down the road coming in. Congratulations to Jacqueline Overby Brummett. Let's see our second inductee for the class of 2020. Oh yeah, our avid supporter, Stuart Cunez. I like these captions, and I'm going to read these real quick for you because I think these are really, really wonderful captions that were said by Stuart. He says, "I don't think I could ever give up following Tybee. To modify his saying about Texas, I wasn't born an Antler, but I became one as soon as I could." Let's learn some things about Stuart Cunez, inductee for the class of 2020. Stuart covered Tybee sports from 1996 to 2017, 21 years. Folks, that's a lot of games traveling. That's a lot of games on the road covering sports for 21 years. And I tell you, next time you see Stuart, just want to thank him again for everything he did for Tybee Antler sports in our community. He was a fixture on the sidelines of all Tybee sports during the years with the Kerrville Mountain Sun, the Kerrville Daily Times, and the Hill Country Community Journal. He was a co-founder and longtime photographer, sports writer, and editor with the Hill Country Community Journal. He won 16 first place awards during his time covering Hill Country sports. Next slide. While at the Kerrville Daily Times, he won a first place award from the Texas Association's Press Managing Editors for the Sports Award. In 12 years at the Hill Country Community Journal, he won 8 first place honors in TPA's Better Newspaper Contest, and his sports photos grabbed top honors 6 times. He was named the Texas High School Coaches Association Putt Powell Sports Writer of the Year Award in 2016. He is currently employed at the city of Kerrville here in our community. I love this article, this last comment down here from Stuart. We wanted to share with you just a couple. And I know that we're looking forward to next year to hear some more comments from our inductees. "I don't think of any of those awards as personal success," Stuart said. "I just think I was lucky enough to be there when so many of the people who will populate Tybee's Athletic Hall of Fame in the future were putting on unbelievable showings in stadiums and field houses all across Southwest Texas. I was fortunate enough to write a few words about those moments and hopefully capture a few more of them on film." Stuart Cunez, 2020 inductee. Let's meet our last inductee for the class of 2020. Marty Jefferson, high school graduate of 2000, and Kerrville Tybee High School's all-time rusher in football at Tybee High School. Let's meet about Marty. Marty, again, a graduate of Kerrville Tybee in 2000. In 1998 through 2000, he was all-district. In 2000, he was all-state. From 1998 to 2000, he holds the record for all-time rushing yards in Tybee's history with 4,472 yards, with 1,853 in 2000. I don't know about you, but that is a lot of yards on the ground his senior year. And he ran a lot of times for Kerrville Tybee, and he was a fun player to watch. He was very dynamic on the field. During his high school career, he rushed for 56 touchdowns. Next slide. He was a receiver, catching 32 career passes for 471 yards. He also received a kickoff return that was 102 yards in 2000. That's pretty phenomenal. That's again, those rushing yards and kickoff returning yards were very, very important to Tybee football. He currently owns and operates Tall City Moving in Midland, Texas. And today, Marty and his wife, Jennifer, have 4 beautiful children. So this year in our class of 2020, an avid supporter, Stuart Cunez, 2 of our all-time scorer and rushing yards with Jacqueline Overby Brummett and Marty Jefferson, and of course, Stuart Cunez. And with that, Christy and Tammy, I thank you again for the opportunity for us coming to share with you the class of 2020. And I know that when the opportunity is available in the future, that we will all celebrate the induction ceremony when we're able to do so at a safe time. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions for Guy?
Hey, Guy,
Yes, sir, Bob.
how many nominations did you all have to go through this year?
We have 67 this year. Now, I'm glad that you asked that because I always share this with folks. When you have a nomination, when somebody nominates somebody, their nomination packets are never discarded. They're always kept. We keep them in file. And I'm glad that Curtis Finley's up there in the corner. I see Curtis. We go through every file every year. So when we have a file, our committee, we go through each file and we make sure that we have totally gone over everything in consideration for everything. So I appreciate that. We always look at everything. I always include folks that are out here, and we need your help at times as too, because as you know that people become eligible, we want you to encourage them to send a packet in. May 15th through June 30th every year, you can nominate somebody to the Hall of Fame. So there's a 45-day period to nominate somebody. And if you see them and you see them around and say, hey, I think you should be nominated for consideration, tell them to follow up, or you send in a packet on them. And we'll make sure that we vet all of those applications, Bob.
We all rejoice with you and your family by Jackie O.
Well, I appreciate it. Her kind words, Bob. And, you know, she was a heck of a shooter. I never could shoot like that. I can tell you that. So she was fun to watch, and I'm proud she's my daughter, but she'll tell you right off the bat that her team that played that year were fantastic. They were fun to watch. And we've had a lot of great girls basketball programs that have gone to state. I like to think that she would probably tell you that team, they were glad to be the first one to make that trail go for everybody else. So Tybee fight never dies. I tell you what.
Yep, indeed.
Tammy, you're on mute.
Sorry, Guy, we thank you so much. This is just always such an exciting program, and such a great respite from the COVID and quarantine. And it's exciting. We can't wait for your induction ceremony next year. And I know all of the inductees are proud to have been named. So thank you for taking the time to do that and keeping up with it for the rest of the community.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, Guy.
Thank you.
Okay, is Stephanie Miller here? I don't see her on the list. Families in Rotary, does anyone have any information that you want to share with us for Families in Rotary? I don't have any.
It's just good to see Nancy Muldoon
So
online.
good to see her. Yes. Nancy, you want to say hi to the club? Nancy.
I just unmuted myself.
Yay.
I'm so happy that I can be part of the club from a distance. All of you mean so much to me. And thank you for all the care and everything that you gave me during my difficult time.
Well, thank you so much. And we just love you and we're so happy to see you.
And I don't know about Jeff Anderson. I think he was online. Jeff, how you feeling?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good.
So thanks for asking. I was muted the last time you asked, but guys, good to see you.
You bet.
Great. Okay, well, we're going to go into our announcements, and the beginning one is going to be a little fun one. I'm going to let Christy take over from there.
Are we doing our poll?
Yep, that's your first one on your
Okay,
announcement.
I don't remember what order I sent stuff to you. All right, we're going to take a poll just because we want to be interactive. And this is Rotary 101. It's 4 questions. And after we're done, we'll show you the results. No one's individual results, but the results of the group. So if you will, go ahead and check on each. Just scroll down. You get at least 4 choices on each of these, and some of them are multiple choice. So here we go. Come on, let's vote. Vote, vote, vote. Got to make a choice. I know it's tough.
While we're doing that, I'll just go on to the next one so we can wait for the results of our poll. But it's something that we think could be fun, so we're going to play with it today. If you have not paid your dues or your invoices for your dues that were sent out in July, if you haven't seen them, if you haven't received them, and if you haven't paid them, please reach out to us and let us know. We are just it's a lot easier when we meet in person, so we can hand invoices directly to someone, but we can't do that right now, so we're just going to keep reminding you to pay those invoices. If you haven't seen them, please reach out to us and we'll send you a new one. So pay invoices, that's one. Christy, are you ready with your results, or you want me to go to the next announcement?
Keep going. We got 14 people who have not voted yet.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
I know. Okay, and so we would like to talk about the August 22nd food drive. I sent out an email today, and you've probably already seen it, but we've adopted the Hill Country Veterans Center to help provide food for their pantry. We've done that because all the other food pantries had a lot of volunteers and a lot of donations, but the Veterans Center really wasn't making their needs known because they're veterans and they're proud, and nobody likes to ask for help when you're a veteran. So when we went to visit with Alan Hill, we found out that the people that come to the Hill Country Veterans Center pantry won't go to another pantry because a veteran doesn't want to ask for help, but they will go to a veteran-run organization if they're in need of anything. So as a club, we continually help keep that pantry filled. And right now they're running low and we need to put some more stuff in their pantry. So we're asking you to help us with the food drive. That will be August 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can drive up. You don't have to get out of your car. We'll take the food out of your vehicle for you. We'll come get it if you have it, but it also might be fun to put a little box in your business and ask your employees to contribute and put a sign up maybe and asking your customers to do it. We just like to get that pantry filled for them for a while. And we're going to have to come back again at Christmas, which would have been our next time to do it. But because of COVID-19 and more needs, we've had to do it a little sooner. So we need your help to fill that pantry. So if you will help us out, if you'll volunteer to be at that event, but if nothing else, please donate to that food drive. Also, in the midst of COVID, we were trying to figure out what to do with our Labor Day walk-a-thon. I can tell you that I had very little to do with this. I've just been in the loop, but we wanted to do it. We thought it was time to get back into the community and let people have something fun outside to do. And we were told by the city of Kerrville that we couldn't do that because they're not allowing groups of more than whatever, and that made sense. But Christy and Charlie and Marta were not going to take no for an answer, and also not disrespect the city. So they came together with a compromise. So we will be there. Rotarians will be there. We will have our awareness signs on the river trail like we always have. We'll be handing out water and reminders about next year's walk-a-thon. Again, we're going to need volunteers for this event. So if you could come for an hour and hand out water, that would be great. We're going to need help. So we'll send you more information as it comes, but I just really think that you should thank Christy and her committee. I do, for the hard work that they've done. When you think about the slogan that sometimes you see on Rotary public image documents, it says Rotarians are people of action. That was really proven by this committee, and I just want y'all to be proud of them for what they've done. Christy, everything else is you, a club runner moment and the poll. So where are we at?
So here's our results. On question number 1, 97% of you knew it was Paul Harris and not Bob Schmierbeck. So yay, 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 yay. On the next one, in what year was the Rotary Club of Kerrville founded? 63% of you knew it was 1926. So if you're doing the math, in about 5 years, we're having a big old party. Just so you know, we're having a big party that year. The Rotary Club of Kerrville helped start several other Rotary clubs. Actually, 4 of these. The one in Fredericksburg, the one in the one in Junction, the one in Medina, and the Kerrville Morning Club. All 4 of those clubs were started because of the Rotary Club of Kerrville. And then last but not least, the answer is all of the above. Those are all ways that you can make up a Rotary meeting so we can get you to that 60 or 100%. So thanks everyone for playing. I appreciate it. The next thing is I've been trying to just take a moment to make sure all of you understand how cool our website is and how you can have some input into this. So today I'm going to take you into the member area. You have to have your passcode to get in here. So you would log in. Most of the time this just says log in. So if I log out, I think y'all can see me, right? And now I say member log in. It comes up with what my login name is. Y'all know what that is now, but there's my password. If you have a problem and you don't remember your password, let me know and I'll reset it for you. So now I'm logging in just like I did. Now I'm going to the member area. Marta, our secretary extraordinaire, is the one who's going to be going and trying to make sure all your fields that we need completed are filled out. All right. So if you haven't been on here recently, this is the brand new one. And you go here to membership active members. And what you'll get here is a total list of everybody in our club. So we're going to go to mine because I can. And you click on your name. Now, you can put in a picture. If you haven't put one in yet, you can just add one, update it, whatever you want. when it comes to your member details, we want to make sure that we have your good email in email. You get one and then you get a backup. And make sure your birth date is. I know y'all can now see how old I am, and that's just too sad. And it's okay. I'll deal with it. An address, phone numbers, home phone and cell number if you could, where you work, what the number is there, and that's as simple as it is. If you're in here and you say, I don't know what my Rotary number is, well, there it is right under this Rotary tab up here. You can put in your biography if you want to. You can put in your commitments in terms of what committees and those kinds of things would be on there. Your settings. So here's where I could change my password if I wanted to. All right. Oh, those are my commitments. Yeah, never mind that. All right. And then privacy. There are privacy settings. So that is my Club Rudder moment for y'all. And please go in there, put in your birth date, put in a current picture, all that kind of stuff. Because in an upcoming meeting, we're going to talk about how you can download all that from your phone.
Great. Thank you so much, Christy. You're just such a joy to have in this club and really so much help. So we want to also remind you that next week we're going to be hearing from Dr. Donald Frazier, who will be talking to us about the Texas Center at Schreiner University. Schreiner University is doing some great things. This is one of them, and we're excited to hear about what they have going on. I've asked each of you to be active. One of my goals is for our club members to be active and engaged. So we have these two events coming up, Labor Day Walk of Fun that we need volunteers for, and the food drive that we also need donations and volunteers for. So please think or think about being in one of those, doing one of those, volunteering or donating or both. So thank you so much. I don't think we have anything else unless anyone has an announcement. Does anybody have anything that they need to say?
I have a question, it's Bill Tucker. Where do we take the food for the food drive?
The Hill Country Veterans Center on April 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. You can drive through. If you don't think you can go there, then I think just send us an information and we can come pick it up. If you need it picked up, I'll be glad to come and help do that. So, but the event is that date, April 22nd, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Hill Country Veterans Center.
Tammy, are there provisions for monetary donations in case somebody doesn't want to shop?
Yes, Christy, isn't that what we decided was? Yes, then we can go get food for the pantry with your cash donation. Okay.
Tammy, did they tell us what they might want specifically in the way of non-perishable? Did they say have a target on anything?
No, not that I know of, but we can ask. Now for the club's information, there are things that our club gets them that are non-perishable, but we coordinate directly with Allen Hill on that. You know, some meats and stuff like that. We do that, but that's a direct coordination effort. The non-perishables, I don't think so, but I'll be glad to ask and send a list.
That'd be great.
Who do we give donations to?
Me, I'll take your money. If you have a donation and you need it picked up, or if you would like to mail it, you can, but I'd be glad to come by and pick it up for you.
Yeah, you can send it to our post office box if you want to too. Just specify in the memo line that that's what it's for and not your dues. Thanks.
Great. Well, thank you so much. If you will join me in the 4-way test, we will conclude this meeting. And I'm so happy to see you all. Have a great week. Of the things that we think, say, or do.
Is it the truth?
Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, Colt. Look at Colt. He's in his
I
one.
know.
Oh, Colt.
Say bye-bye, everybody. Have a good week.
Aww.
Do good service.
Hey, Christy.
Yeah.
I found the original charter document from the first time that we had a Rotaract club. It's when Mark Armstrong was president, and the Rotaract club was out at Shriner.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And that club right now has not been active for a couple
Right.
years. So our Rotaract Club now is community-based, and we have a lot of people from our community aged 20 to 40, let's say, who want to do service, not so interested in meetings, but they want to do service. And that's what that club's focus is, service.
Great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Nancy, it's so good to see you. Thank you for coming to our club meeting. We hope to see you again.